which is worth a look. Simple balloons. When you have a pop-out, whatever you call that, from your interactive map, it shouldn't have any scroll bars in it. If your user has to scroll around, you've done something wrong. Is you want it to be there and plain, and they can just read it and then click it to get rid of it. The example in the top right corner of your screen there, that uses scroll bars wrongly, and the reason it does is because they've had logos in the top is far too wide. Is you could show that information in half, maybe a third of that width of the logo there, and so reduce the size of that and increase the information size, the information real estate available in your balloon. I'm a bit suspicious of uses of tabs in simple balloons, and I think you should have a link to another map or to a completely separate web page if you want to present more information like that. Just a plain straight set of information graphic in a balloon is a good idea. Generally, you want to be avoiding clutter. So the example on the bottom right there, that's quite a cluttered, complicated table. It's got acronyms in it. What on earth is WSF, HDY, whatever it is in that table? I don't understand it. It's cluttered, it's complicated, it's not really showing me anything particularly useful. The example on the left is much better. You can see it's got icons, it shows you telephone or home or fax numbers, and you can instantly see that because the table is structured nice and simply. It just jumps out. It works very well. So keep your balloon simple is that tip. Similarly, layer control. So the way you allow users to control what's on the map, that also should be simple. And if you have more information, we'll just make some more maps for them rather than trying to squash too much on and give them too many decisions to make with their map. And you can see the one along the top, I think, is nice and simple. Again, it's from the same map we just looked at, the pop-out. And the one on the left, I think, is far too complex, and you've got far too many choices. And I don't really understand what filtering by water body will do to the map. It doesn't instantly work. So that's a disadvantage. You shouldn't do that. You should simplify that. I think you have to make decisions about what does the user really want to see. What are they expecting, and you don't want them to have to scratch their head and work out what you're showing them. You want them to get it first time, and the interaction on the left doesn't do it. Okay, so introductions. When users first visit your map, you want them to get what they can do with it really quickly, and a really nice way of doing that, if you've got any sort of complexity in your map, is a video demo, and I've got one here. And what I've done is it's just something I did for Google Earth, showing people how to use a slider. So if you'd program like something like this into your map, just a quick little video like that, showing some people what they can do when they get to your map, really works. If you don't want to do a video introduction, a video demo, brief text is really nice as well, just to tell people really what they can do and keep it very short and sharp. Talk about that in another tip. Cherry picking out interesting things they can see on your map is really nice as well, so they know what they can get out of it, so they're encouraged to go and explore. That's really good. Again, this is something that's a bit more complex, and there's a link there if you want to explore this in more detail. Web language, as I just mentioned, keep it short and concise. I think poster adverts aren't long and wordy, or most ones aren't, and you want to use the same sort of language in all the things you do on your map. So again, returning to the bubbles, the language was too long in the one on the right and was vague, and a normal user wouldn't instantly get it. You want to use bold and subtitles and paragraphs, and use that to make it scannable, so people's eyes, you want them to be able to lock on to what they want very quickly. So lots of subtitles and bold. And you also have to ask yourself, do your users understand your headers, your data sections, the acronyms you've used in your map? Okay, tip 11, icons. Again, coming back to keep it simple rule. The two-tone icons on the bottom are my version of a project that I found that I've got in the screenshot at the top. And change them from default anyway. You've got to use your own icons to represent whatever you've got on your map. Meaningful symbols really work, so you should be able to guess that that's some kind of bird or that's some kind of wolf from looking at my icons, as you probably can with the one on the top, it must be said. But by simplifying it, I've made it so that you can visually pick out the wolves and the eagles much better on mine, because I've used different color schemes, you can see. I've mentioned earlier about Web 2.0 icons is those add visual clutter. Again, by simplifying things, keep the clutter down, keep it simple, you can get more other types of information on. Again, there's more detail at that link there. Final point 12 is really to re-emphasize, if you take anything away from this talk, I think I'd like you to take away the idea of testing as being something really to find out what your users are up to and identify the mistakes in your map before you publish it. Okay, so I've done this in Prezi. If you access the link at the bottom there, you can see the arrows link onto other things, and it leads to other links if you want to do some further reading around with this. Hope you found that useful. My name's Richard Treves.